Sometimes you need it, girl. I got my click clack bag. God damn it, Noir.
Thank you all for having me, and I'm glad I was on before Bria because there's no way to follow her, so it's good.
Garlic smells and tastes like ass. Well, you show me an ass that tastes like garlic, and I'm gonna find myself a new partner.
No.
Summer of Abria.
You could make someone cry over like Romeo and Juliet, or I could make them cry with a story about a werewolf giving a blowjob. And if I could do that, that's a trick to pull off.
Today, your PSA is that when you watch streamers, content creators, YouTubers, influencers, you do not actually know them. You may know their name, you may know facts about them, you do not know them. This is your PSA, do not be over familiar. Thank you and have a good day.
And that's kind of why, I'm trying to be as unapologetic as possible, is because I'm trying to be the person that I needed back when I was growing up.
A new IP comes out that's perfect for you, right? But in order for this to exist, we have to get rid of another IP. And whichever IP you replace it with, that's how big it gets.
Star Wars. Bye.
I'll tell you one motherfucking thing. If you're in Australia, go fuck yourself. Australia. Yeah, that's right. I'm picking a fight with the entire goddamn continent of Australia.
So,
go fuck yourself,
tune
mate.
in for October 24th, our show where we have Wasabate, who is in fact Australian, and has promised us one authentic good day.
You know what? If your name is Liam O'Brien, go fuck yourself too. It's hands for you on site, Caleb.
Damn.
So what do you want to do about it? Do you want to play this game with me? Or do you want to forfeit? I don't really think you can keep up with me, but I'd love to see you try. Darling.
Hey, Brooke Anita! My co-host has been murdered.
You just gotta lie a lot and have one solid apology at the end, and that is the secret to Young Justice working every time.
I feel like that is a Thieves Guild's mantra. Lie longer, lie better. Papa John's.
Anita quite literally said, Noir knows him. And I was like, co-signed. All right, welcome aboard. I was like, that is enough for me. Noir knows and likes this person.
Well, we can always make a Respect Women Juice flask, so you can have it wherever you go.
I'm already working on putting it on a mug.
Excellent. Next, you need shot glasses.
Mm-hmm.
You're just take a quick shot of Respect Women Juice. Yeah.
Huh? Where am I?
We're going into the bad guy segment. Did you just black out for a little bit?
I was so busy fighting that everything just went red for a second.
You cannot do what I do, like at all. But I can't do what you do. And no one can tell your story. No one can sing your song but you.
I always realized Critical Misses. It's just it's a femme-focused channel, and the critical, okay, haha. And then I was like, wait a second. When you roll a 1, that's a critical miss. It
just get the pun?
Yes,
get the pun.
I just got the pun.
What's up? I'm AJ from Critical Misses, and we're here at Big Bad Con asking people a very, very important question. Let's go. We got to go. Do you eat dice? I mean, I've thought about it, but no, I don't eat dice. Good. Do you eat dice?
In private or in public?
For private.
I'll never tell. No, I do not eat dice. I'm not. I don't know.
Good. It's good.
Is that good?
Yes.
Darby's giving me a synopsis. I'm scared.
Do you eat dice?
So many.
Are you the cops? Maybe.
Yeah. Don't you?
Okay, I'll be here.
Where are you getting your luck from?
Get them out of here.
You're
Get
deficient.
them out of here.
You're deficient. They can't shut me up! They can't tell the truth! They can't tell the truth!
Stop the camera. Do you eat dice?
Yes. I'm lactose intolerant.
What?
Every day of the week.
No, I give dice to my players to eat because they need it as part of a nutritious breakfast.
It depends on the texture. If it's like a jelly-ish dice, then yes, I would absolutely like to eat it because it just looks really edible.
Sometimes they go in my mouth for the clacky clack.
Only if they're not spicy. I can't do heat.
Valid. It's valid.
No, I can't. I
No, but those that do, that's their own death that they have chosen.
Oh, God.
While I was at Big Bad Con, I decided to go around and find the guests of Morning Ritual and people who appeared on Critical Misses to tell me about their favorite moments. Here's what they said.
Hi, I'm Sarah, or Sarah's Coffee. I had a great time when I did Morning Ritual on Critical Misses. My favorite part is just Nora and Anita are so great as hosts, and it's just wonderful talking to them and being able to share our perspectives in one big, beautiful Morning Ritual soup.
I was going to do a thing about, I'm pretty sure when I was on with Nora and Anita, there was something that was about me saying the N-word or something once upon a time. I can't remember the vibe. So instead, I'm going to talk about my two favorite co-hosts of this thing. Nora and Anita, they have a really great vibe together, and I felt like there was some silly, goofy thing that happened between the three of us, but it really felt like the two of them were playing off of each other, and it felt like fun banter, not excluded, and also like very much included in what was happening. And also when me and Nora were like, yeah, it's a black thing, or we're like, oh yeah, you know, just the black folks. Anita was great with the joking in on it as well, in a very fun and safe manner. So yeah, favorite parts.
Hello, it's me, Kateosaurus. I would say that one of my favorite things that happened was the live show of Morning Ritual that happened, which was the earliest I've ever woken up at a convention ever to do anything. And it was amazing. It was one of the most fun conversations we had, and it was one of those glorious moments where three brains that are like kind of the same, like kind of meshed, and it was just this really like free-flowing, really easy, really comfortable conversation. And then the whole time the audience was like, this is the best thing we've ever seen, and I was like, we're talking about like toast. I don't know what's going on. But that was like meaningful to me. It was a meaningful conversation because it felt welcoming and joyous and celebratory, and it was so fucking goofy.
I think my favorite moment of Morning Ritual was like getting to argue with Noir about the importance of dice crunching, and then me revealing that I was a secret third thing, which is profiting off of it either way, and by plugging my dice code was one of the funniest things I got to do. And like getting to play off of Noir like comedically is deeply funny because like they are one of just truly my favorite scene partners, or to someone to just goof off and like play argue with back and forth. Truly one of my favorite moments I ever got to do. Being on the show felt so fun. Like, I think it was my first talk show, so it felt just so fucking fun.
My favorite moment of Critical Misses is watching my dear friend Noir break down every time someone decides to crunch a dice on stage. Stay strong, friend. There'll be more of us.
I think that my favorite part of Critical Misses was when I had some time over on their Star Trek stream, and it was when a bunch of us in the party managed to figure out how to effectively do like a time slingshot and launch to intercept the big bad. That was a lot of big brain energy, and I love that everyone had a piece to play. in that problem solving so that we could get to that finale and win.
What's up? It's your boy. My favorite morning ritual thing. Oh my gosh, there's so many. How do I choose? I don't know. I think it's when I got to expose Noir for the chicken-eating traitor that they are. When I made chicken for them, when I was like, they were visiting my house when I lived at my old house, and I made a lot of chicken, and I made so much chicken that they thought it was really good, and I only got 4 pieces of that chicken, and Noir and my friend ate the rest of the chicken. I'm never gonna let you forget that, no matter what, but I like that I got to expose you for the terrible fiend that you are.
There's so many moments in Critical Misses that I just genuinely loved. Like all the bits and everything, it was just fun to follow along and watch this narrative of Morning Ritual unfold. And all that came into, all that culminated in the video that AJ put together of everyone talking about if they're stop the crunch or crunch responsibly. That story, that through line really connected everyone who came onto the show, and added just this little fun game, which I love.
So obviously we're here to talk about Critical Misses. I think my favorite memory is being able to show up Noir. Not by doing anything in particular. Noir is my arch enemy, my arch nemesis, as everyone knows. I'm clearly the hero of our relationship. Noir's the villain. But just being purely on the show, my presence just overshadowed him, really. I love they're cool, they're great, whatever. The other guests are cool and everything. But like when it was me and Noir on that show, it was very clear who the good guy was. And being able to highlight that, to be able to show that off, was probably my favorite moment. I think that's why Noir's actually scared to have me on again. They're worried that I'll be able to again reveal the real villain that they are. But no, really, it was a lot of fun being on Critical Misses. If at any point on Morning Ritual they want me back again, I'll be there in a heartbeat. And I think anyone else who gets a chance to should as well. Anita and Noir are incredible hosts, and I'm always there when I can be to listen to them talk to their guests.
I think my favorite moment of Morning Ritual, I wasn't even there for, but you all brought me up on a panel at a convention that I could not go to. I think it was Gen Con. And I don't think anything in this world has ever made me feel part of a creative family quite as much as witnessing myself being mentioned in a room that I was not in. We all hope that happens, but rarely do you get to witness it happen. And that was surreal to me and remains surreal to me to this day. I would live and die for everyone who is in that room on that panel, and everyone who is behind Critical Misses. You can have everything you want from me. At any time, you just call on me. I'm there.
What's up? It's me, one of the co-hosts for Uncancelled, the new show where you can say whatever you want. But then the group that you offended gets to jump you for I don't remember how long you said. But you don't understand how often I think about this and how much I want this for the space. Because I think all these white motherfuckers need to get on this show. Thank you for having me.
Hello, I'm gonna say be Zelda here because I can't help but introduce myself. I think my absolute favorite moment of Morning Rituals and with everybody from Critical Misses is just the kindness, the love, and the respect from Noir and Anita because they're the best people and I love and I care about them so much.
That was not a smooth transition, but hey, we're live.
That's the mood today. That is the mood today.
Oh! Sometimes you need it, girl. I got.
We're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Morning Ritual. We have a fantastic guest with us today, and we'll get to them in just a second. I am one of your hosts, Noir Enigma. I go by he, they, and your other host.
That's me. Hi, I'm AJ Fox. My pronouns are she, they. Yeah, and we do actually have a fantastic guest today. And it's our first time meeting, which is really fun. But yes, Sebastian, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sebastian Yue. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a game designer, writer, and editor in the TTRPG industry. I've designed and written for Apocalypse Keys, Pathfinder, and the upcoming Tomb Raider TTRPG, and I've edited for MCDM's Flee Immortals, the Cosme RPG, and Uncaged Goddesses. When I'm not making TTRPGs, I'm publishing them as the publishing coordinator and community manager at Canadian RPG publishing company Hitpoint Press. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we're excited to have you, and holy shit, that is a resume.
Told you.
That's incredibly awesome. Thank you for joining us. So I say let's just kind of delve into it. With a resume like that, I think the most obvious question is, how did you get started?
Yeah, so I got started. I didn't actually intend to go into tabletop professionally. Like the first adventure that I wrote was just something that I created to run at like a support group that I was attending. I was like going to this support group for like trans adults in Toronto that had eating disorders. And so we were just taking turns like facilitating sessions. And so I'd recently gotten started with playing D&D, and I was like, oh, this could be really fun. I could run a game. So I did that, and it got received really well. Everyone was like, oh, this is really fun. Like, and one person asked, what are you going to do with it? And I was like, what do you mean? What am I going to do with it? And they were like, I don't know, can you like publish it or something? And I'm like, I had not thought of that. And so I kind of looked into it. I took a course with the Storytelling Collective. It was the RPG Writer Workshop back then, but I took a Write Your First Adventure course to kind of polish it up and make sure that it adhered to like 5th edition style guides, that I understood how that I understood like how the adventure is supposed to be structured, because at the time it was just like a series of like bullet point notes designed for me as the GM to run it, and so I had to make it comprehensible for somebody else to run it, and so I published that on the DM's Guild. It's called Lake of Secrets. And then after that I was like, hey, I actually had a really fun time writing and publishing this, and I kind of just wanted to keep doing it, and so I looked for other opportunities to collaborate with people, and then I just kind of kept doing it and did not stop doing it. So I'm here. Like that's that's essentially how it went.
Holy smokes! I'm looking at the number, like the projects that you've partaken in, and I see there's been a number of collaborations with a friend of mine, HTT Paladin.
Yes.
Uh, oh, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I worked with Paladin first on Incantations, back in, I think I was working on that at like the end of 2021 / beginning of 2022. That was one of my earlier editing projects, and I got to work on the subclasses for Incantations, and I'm very lucky to have been on that project because I could tell it was a very special project to them, and also it gave me the opportunity to do some developmental editing, which I hadn't really had a lot of experience doing previously. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
Could you elaborate on what like the difference between developmental developmental editing and like any other edit? Like I only know editing, like that's where I'm at. So like
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So developmental editing is more like that kind of gets into the content of it a little bit more, and it's more like if you know, when you sit down with a friend and you talk about a project and you're just like, here's where I'm going with it, here's what my ideas are, and so it's like essentially it's a version of that where I will look at like a manuscript and be like, is this mechanic like, you know, serving the narrative that you want to convey? Do I think that this is balanced? Do I think that this is going to make for good gameplay, like, or whatever definition of good gameplay you're striving for with this particular project? So it's not necessarily about like grammar and language yet. It's more about like, you know, it's about, it's taking into consideration like the overall goals of the project and kind of, you know, like assisting the creator in achieving the goals that they've set for it.
So it sounds like you're responsible for keeping the project on theme.
Yeah, to an extent, yes. And it's just really helpful to have like feedback on. And honestly, like I personally have also hired developmental editors before. Like I really like working with them. So
that is this is the first I'm hearing of that, and that sounds awesome. I probably need one for a couple of projects we're doing. So I mean, you've mentioned that you've done a lot in game design. I have to ask, what is your favorite? Like, where is your heart in this profession? Like, you know, you can do developmental editing, but if you had to stick in one spot, is that where you would stay?
No, it's probably game design and writing. If I, you know, like I love developmental editing. I love helping other people's like, you know, like polish other people's words and, you know, kind of help bring that kind of vision to life. But I really do like game design and writing. If I ever, you know, like getting the opportunity to do that is possibly like some of the most fun that I have. But honestly, I have fun on all of it.
with you know, your writing and game design, where do you often find your inspiration? Like are you one of those folks that will watch a TV show or something and go, oh, I know how to gamify that, or is it just kind of out of the aether?
It depends. That's a really good question, actually. There are kind of certain themes that I find myself returning to. Like, you know, I often write about like time and doppelgangers, and that tends to come up a lot in my work. It's like a really weird thing to think of, but like, you know how everyone has like that kind of like niche thing that they just really like to write about.
Time travel.
And so like that's yeah, like that's just one of mine. And you know, like I think a lot of us, especially like, you know, queer and trans people in the space, like that, like those themes end up coming into my work, whether or not it is I'm doing it deliberately. That just kind of happens. So you know, that comes up a lot. I really like making stories with those kinds of themes. And just because like with doppelgangers in particular, I'm like, okay, but like imagine if there was you from an alternate reality, and then that kind of and then that kind of raises the question, like, how do you know if it's you, if it's from another alternate reality? And then that gets at the core question, like, you know, what fundamentally are you as a person? Like, who fundamentally are you as a person? And that I find really interesting. Like, yeah.
So just I relate to that in a very real way. a number of members in our community have given me the nickname Chrono Hussy because I have so much time travel in my games. So I guess my next question is like, when you're developing something with like, how do you embrace something as a tendency or a signature and not feel like you're being redundant in your work? Because like ever since I got that nickname Chrono Hussy, I'm like, shit, I'm doing the time travel.
Yeah, I actually think that if you do it frequently enough and it can become like a thing for you, then that actually is good. I mean, honestly, it's kind of one of my like goals, I guess, to like if someone is going to include a project that has that theme, I would like for them to think of me for it and to kind of invite me to work on it with them. And so that actually is kind of a good thing. And I think that because every project is different, that there's a new way to kind of include that, you know? Like there's a lot that you can do with it, and as long as I guess you're not repeating the same, like this is the same kind of angle of exploration that I want to do with this theme, then I think you're good. It's okay to keep repeating like a theme or a motif in your work, and like if it comes up, then it can be a thing. TM, you know.
You said that so much more graceful than I have. I'm gonna clip that and show it to y'all every time you give me shit.
Yeah, honestly, let Noir time travel. Like it's all good. Just like, yeah.
That's the shirt. Let
Noir time travel. Like, I mean, okay, you can give them shit for it, but you know, who's gonna be laughing when, like, at the end of all timelines or whatever, and Noir is just there, like, actually.
God damn it, Sebastian, we were so close. Okay. All right. So my next question, I wonder, like, because we are talking about like having that theme and having the thing that you like to write about. You've worked with other projects that you've been collaborating with other folks. I have to ask, when you're brought in to write in someone else's world or someone else's IP, is it ever daunting to like have to operate within those constraints, and how do you attack that?
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Actually, I can tell you a kind of funny story about like Tomb Raider in particular. So like that game, we're actively working on that game right now. It hasn't come out yet, but so the thing is, I was actively bad at that game. I like downloaded the 2012 version to play and to explore. Like after I got invited onto that project, and I was like, okay, it's something that I've been aware of, and like I'm aware of the older games, and like I did see the 2004 like Angelina Jolie film, but that was a very long time ago. And so I downloaded the 2012 Tomb Raider game, and oh my god, there are these QuickTime events in it, and I am horrendous at it. Like there's this one really awful one where you have to control Lara, and she has to sneak around in the dark away from these Russian guys that have torches and guns, and I died so many times. I kept getting shot. It was horrible, and I just was not good at the game. But that experience taught me a lot about like what the game is supposed to feel like. I was sitting there playing this being like, oh my god, I'm so stressed right now. And then I finished doing that, and I was like, it took me like 2 hours for what was supposed to be like a 20-second thing. And so after that, I was like, but okay, so how do I convey these high stakes in my adventure? How do I make this feel like an urgent, like how do I create the sense of urgency? Like how do I make this like a like a stressful thing to do? And actually that was a really useful experience for me to have, because it's sometimes like I always say that it's okay to be like bad at the IP, like bad in quotation marks. You just need to be curious enough about it and to be willing to experience it and to learn from the experiences that you had. And in my case, I was like, how do I make this like a high stakes adventure, and how do I make this like a stressful adventure to play through? Like I want the players to get invested in it, and because you know what, I was invested in it. Like I was invested in it to like keep trying to do it for like 2 hours. So I was like, yeah, I kind of need to take away that aspect of it.
I'm so sorry. You bringing up that game has triggered an old rant in me, and I'm not gonna go full tilt. I just have to say, whoever the developers for that remake of Tomb Raider,
Square,
those are some sick motherfuckers. Because if you fail those QuickTime events, Lord dies in the most brutal ways I have ever seen in a video game.
Yeah, and I did that for 2 hours. Just like I sucked at this game.
Like I've played since PlayStation 1 Tomb Raider. So I'm like, oh, we're just gonna have a fun, jaunty adventure. No, like, no,
Yeah, but I think the puzzles in that game are really good, and so that informed a lot of the puzzle design. Just because, like, I don't really see puzzles in like PBTA games so much, and so that gave me a lot of ideas. And I was like, okay, like looking at this puzzle, like how have the developers like made it, and would it be possible for me to make a puzzle? So like there was a lot for me to enjoy in the game. I was just bad at it. Like I'm notoriously bad at video games. Like I enjoy them, but I'm bad at them. So. And that's okay.
That's why I play turn-based RPGs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I have to ask, is there a dream IP? Like, is there an IP that you're like, if there was a race to get the job to write on it, I would be the winner because I break everybody's ankles.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's obviously like really big IPs. Like, I mean, Star Wars already has a tabletop RPG. Like the Fantasy Flight, like Genesis system RPG is actually really fun.
It's so
like
good.
it's so good. So and I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 exists for Dungeons and Dragons. That is so good. I honestly like. It's difficult for me to like see myself as like an IP writer, if that makes sense. Even though like I've worked on IP projects, I'm not sure that like. Yeah, I think that there'd be a lot of properties that I'd be like, oh, this is a really exciting project, but I don't think that I would have like signed up to do projects purely because of the IP, if that makes sense. And in a lot of times, and in a lot of instances, working on IP projects, the idea is you need to be good at all of the skills that are involved in creating the actual project, as opposed to knowledge of the IP, because you can really love it. You could be the #1 fan of literally anything on the planet, but still, when it comes down to it, if you need to make a tabletop game out of it, like you need to be you need to have the tabletop skills for it.
Hell yeah. All right, I've got one more question before we go to one of our segments here, and that question is, again, the resume is lengthy and impressive, so I'm certain that you've got the experience to answer this question, which is, what are some red flags to look out for when joining a project, and what are some green flags that like let you know that you're in a good project?
Yeah, honestly, I think if I talk about this in terms of green flags, then like conversely, if they don't do the green flags, then that will answer the red flag question.
That's
but
fair.
Honestly, like I can talk about the things that I like to see when I join a project.
Okay.
I love to see like clear communication and consistent communication. Like if someone, like sometimes I can, like if I join a project and someone is really communicative with me at the start, but then it comes to like, I don't know, signing the contract or something, and then they just like ghost me and don't reply when I'm used to them like replying within like a couple of days each time, I'm just like, interesting. And that's I like for people to stay in touch, and I like for people to give me clear instructions, and I like for deadlines to be made clear to me as well, because I'm a very deadline oriented person. And so if I'm given a clear deadline, then I need to know like what to aim for, and then if anything happens like in advance of that deadline, then I can notify like the project leaders about it and be like, hey, like this thing has come up in my life, would you be able to accommodate this adjustment? And I think that a lot of people get afraid to like reach out and ask for accommodations like that, but actually like people really like it when you tell them in advance, and you can like and then you give them enough notice to make those provisions, whereas people are like, oh, if I just don't say anything, then maybe and then you just miss the deadline, and it holds things up for everybody. So yeah, I don't know. Communication is just really like probably my '1 thing. Another thing is, if you have an experienced project manager, then they can provide you like templates and design guides, like those things that kind of will like, briefs that will tell me what they're striving for, what they want from me exactly. Like that really helps. And then it helps me to write to spec. So things like, word counts, just good instructions, really important to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, like who to contact. Like I need to know like who the right person on the team is, who is kind of, I don't want to say my manager, but like who do I talk to if I have questions about this assignment? Who do I talk to if I need, one of those accommodations? Like I need to know that.
Hell yeah. Okay. That I think you were absolutely right in answering the green flag. We got our red flags.
Yeah. I mean, red flags is when you don't do those things. Okay, like also like red flag is also if I am like the only like non-white person on the team, I've got to say like that huge red flag. I at no point enjoy doing that, like being that person. Um so like yeah, people do sometimes let me know who I'm going to be working with ahead of time. It's not something that I would require, but it was always kind of like a shock to me if I, join a project and I'm just like, oh wait, okay, this is awkward. Yeah.
It's the moment of discovering, oh, I'm the diversity.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, and that just doesn't feel great. So, yeah.
All right. Well, now we're going to see. Now we're going to see if you are the green flag or the red flag
Oh
because
God.
yeah. Welcome to let's just get into the segment. In the TTRPG space, there is a silent war that's going on between those of us that see dice as storytelling tools, and others of us who see them as the forbidden crunch, the forbidden candy. Um, I believe in protecting one's teeth, and not putting choking hazards in their mouth, and so I am on the side of stop the crunch. But others among us are like, well, it's the forbidden nom nom. And then they put it in their mouth and they crunch the die. So, Sebastian, I have to ask you, what side of this war are you on? Are you on team stop the crunch, or are you on team crunch crew?
I'm on team like solve your problems. And when I was at yeah, and so when I was at no, I want to tell you about this thing that I saw. Um and I have a solution to this problem that will make everybody happy. So So, okay, a couple of weeks ago, I was at UKGE and there were several people who were selling edible dice. Some of them had chocolate dice, like mold, like, chocolate, they put chocolate into like a dice mold. And some of them had put like, like gummies. They were making gummy dice. And so the idea was that you could roll a die onto like a plate or something and then you could eat it afterwards. And so if you want the crunch, you can have like a chocolate die and eat it. And I think that there is nothing stopping you from doing that.
Okay, so I've suggested this to these people as well, but they say that's crunching because it's edible. They want crunching because that's something that's not edible. It's just
Well,
something that's
yeah, I
experience.
mean, if the idea is to have a forbidden snack, then honestly, again, it would be the same as my advice for literally any other preferences at the table. I have to say that if that is your preference, then and it's the way that you have fun, just make sure that your GM and the rest of your players are aware of this choking hazard and that, it comes up in your session 0. Hey, just as a warning, I'm going to eat my dice and you're going to be normal about it and that's going to be fine. Then, okay, if everyone's happy with that, then sure. But I'm not one of those players who is going to be like, no, I'm going to like X card choking on the dice. Like that's just, I'm not going to stop people from living their dreams. Okay. So yeah.
Okay, I lied. There's a secret third faction,
Yeah, secret third faction is do whatever it is you like. Just
harm prevention.
It's called. They call themselves crunch responsibly, and I think that they're cowards.
Yeah,
Be crunch
sure.
possible.
I mean, I personally, but like, if you're gonna ask about my personal preferences, then I have actually never once felt compelled to put a die in my mouth, but more just for the more just because, like, I'm sorry, I'm touching that shit all day with my hands, and it's disgusting. I would not put that in my mouth. So, but again, each to their own. I'm not gonna stop people from living their dreams.
I'm still not getting over. I'm team solve the problem.
Yeah, I am team solve the problem. I am just, team own up to your own desires, be real with yourself, just do whatever it is the fuck you want, as long as it's not harming other people and you're so good. Like, I'm not, if someone just wants to just eat a die in front of me, I'm gonna be like, okay, you do you.
Oh God. Well, I think if they die, was the side that Paladin picked.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, and like by extension, I do believe that people have, like the free will and the power to decide to do whatever it is they like with their lives. And if that involves choking to death on dice, then well, I'm glad to have met you. Great. Like you live as you die with dice in your mouth. Like great.
Kappa was let them die. Paladin's take was if you're going to chew the dice, you might as well just swallow the whole set.
Fair.
I forgot you have the chart of every one of our guest answers on this.
AJ actually has the chart and has passed it along to me.
Oh
Paladin
my
was
good,
what we called the swallow savior.
good God.
We're just gonna eat an entire set of dice. We're just gonna.
Yeah, but it's just, it's one of those things where I'm just like, you know what, your personal preference, spit swallow, I don't care. Like, just do whatever you like.
Well, we have a follow-up segment, which changes based on what your answer is, and because unfortunately you did not choose to join the side of the angels, the side of righteousness, stop the crotch, I have to ask you the punishment question. So
Okay.
here it is. You're so chipper and sweet about it. I feel bad, but like, you're like, okay. All right, here it comes. Ready? Here it goes. You get to play any TTRPG with any 5 people that are alive right now. You do not count towards the 5. And you get to choose who's GM. If you want to be GM, that's fine. If you want somebody else to be GM, that's fine. What game are you playing? Who's at the table? And who's the GM?
Huh. Interesting. I haven't really thought. I'm not one of those people who thinks a lot about their dream tabletop RPG table, but I think that. Oh, that's a good question. I think I would like to. I mean, I usually get as far as I would like to play a new game with people who I haven't met before, because that is usually my motivation for for joining a tabletop game that is like on a stream, because that is kind of like the easiest, fastest way to meet new people and to play new games. But like I'm not someone who like follows celebrity culture or could tell you like, oh, I think this like super famous person would be good at tabletop, or I would like to do that. Yes, honestly, my honest to God, like boring answer is I just want to play a new game with new people, and I've been doing that a lot by being on streams. But I don't really, yeah, I'm not really like a celebrity culture follower person. I do not necessarily need to sit at a table with half the cast of Critical Role. Like I'm good. Like yeah. Like honestly,
The
yeah,
punishment question was just thwarted like a key blast in Dragon Ball Z. It's awesome.
yeah.
Oh, I will get you yet. Let's
Yeah, honestly,
see.
like listen, look, gun to my head, I could not name 5 celebrities. Like, yeah.
This is fun. Okay. Well, in that case, we're gonna repurpose. We are going to repurpose another segment to make it the new punishment segment.
Okay.
And here it comes. We have a segment here that's called the TTRPG bucket list, which are things that you would like to have happen at a table that you have not experienced yet. For me, I want the experience of having a character like jump off of like a airship and fighting a dragon while falling, like just something awesome like that. Are there any moments that you would like to have happen at a table that you have not had yet? Like,
Interesting. That's a good question. I mean, I've been playing tabletop games since like 2018 or something, and so that's been a good while. So I've been able to experience some really cool things. Yeah, I think that. I mean, most of the characters that I tend to play are like I like to be able to talk my way out of situations, and I like to be able to talk my way into situations. But yeah, I don't think that there's anything that I'm just like I really want to do. I mean, the closest like I think the closest thing to having like a goal for a campaign is when I joined Curse of Strahd explicitly so I could fuck Strahd, and like that has been happening, so that's been good. Like, and right now I'm playing a Waterdeep deep campaign so that I can fuck Jarlaxle. Like that's going great. So it's difficult to say. Like those tend to be like if I go into a game with like a goal, it's usually something along those lines.
I did not track that energy from you, and it's hilarious. Oh, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Yeah. So, like those tend to be like my goals that I think about, but everything else, like it kind of happens organically at the table. I mean, this one time I was doing a dungeon crawl as a wizard. I had a figurine of wondrous power, and it turned into a dinosaur. I got on top of it, and because I was an artificer as well, I had a gun, and so I was a wizard with a gun on top of a dinosaur. And just like that's not something I can have on my goal list, but it happened, and I was like, that's fucking great. Like. Just stuff like that.
Your games are far more interesting than mine. who, who are your GMs? I need to play with.
Yeah, these are just like my home games, and like these are people I've been playing with for a while, and everyone's great. So I think, yeah, so like there's just things like that. Like I could not foresee that. In fact, I do have a desire to be a wizard on a dinosaur who also has a gun. But when that happens, I'm like, amazing. Yeah, good moment.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining a wizard like with the pointy hat on the dinosaur, holding a spell book in one hand and a Glock in the other.
Yeah. It was a rifle, like a kind of psionic rifle too, so it was pretty cool. You know,
That's
yeah.
good. That's good stuff right there. I'm sorry. Okay. Great. They has as a question, going back to the punishment question. Is since you don't follow celebrity culture or anything like that. In that case, are there types of people, for example, people from particular backgrounds, identities, parts of the world's careers that you would want to play with?
That is a good question. I mean, I like to play with like other queer people, and I like to play with other people of color. So I do like actively seek out like to join things like BIPOC Star Wars Day or BIPOC Star Wars Weekend, sorry, or like
Yeah.
streams on Utopia and like other like POC focused channels. And like this month is Pride Month, and so like we're like there's some Pride streams that I'm involved with. So I like playing with those kinds of folks just because like just honestly inherently like how there's like straight D&D and like gay people D&D, like completely different games. Okay, I mean like I cannot fuck Strahd and Jarlaxle in straight people D&D. Okay, like yeah, and so like
Oh
the same,
god.
and the same is kind of, like there's like there's white people TTRPG and there's POC TTRPG different, and then like within those there's different there's different like subsects that are different. So like, I think those would be like my top two answers. But realistically, what I'm looking for with like a fellow player is someone else who is like, who has fun ideas that I can play off of, people who are willing to like let me do my fun ideas, even if they're not the most sensible. Like, yeah, okay, sure, like this idea is going to get us arrested, but also is it funny? Yes, like.
That kind of brings me back to like the interview portion of this, which is like you're right with tabletop. It's so big now. Like, well, it's always been big, but it's so big, and there's just so many different sides of the space that like when you are in your game design mode, when you're on the professional side of it, like there's been books have been written without us in mind for so long. Like, how do you attack that, like, as a game designer?
That's a good question. I think that like at any kind of project or table that I happen to be invited to, like I take that, I take that responsibility quite seriously, and I do have it in mind that I would like the things that I write and I design to be appealing to people who like with identities and with experiences in common with mine. And so I think you'll find this with like, not to speak for everybody else, but like I think you'll find with a lot of people who come from like marginalized backgrounds, like their experiences are just inherently going to influence the work that they do, even if their work isn't necessarily about that. And that is also something that I'm conscious of, because like there's a lot of expectation on people from marginalized backgrounds to like be good representation, or like to tell stories that are only about marginalization. I'm just like, yeah, but I can do things that are a lot more interesting than that. So I think that making like just kind of making space for those kinds of stories, and for taking into consideration things that other people might not necessarily take into consideration, and ultimately just kind of writing and telling the stories that interest me. I know that like if I do that, then they will also be of interest to a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. I've got another question. So in the short time that I had working like as part of the TT, like in the business of TTRPG, I know I've had an experience where I was working on a project where I saw something in the narrative, in the text, that was problematic. um I want to know if you've ever had that experience, and like what advice would you give to up and coming game designers, writers, editors, on how to broach that if that is something that you encounter.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Like, so if you're an editor, then I think that you have considerably more opportunity to flag that and bring it up. As a game designer, it can be quite challenging because that's not necessarily like within the scope of your role. And also, especially if you are from a marginalized background, there is a lot of expectation that like, you just be able to do like sensitivity reading or whatever. And like that is not a fair expectation at all. But I do think that at the same time, if it bothers you, then, if you have the confidence to bring it up, then I would say, to do that, because there's a good chance that because either you'll get, oh, we're aware of this and we're working on fixing it, or oh, we didn't notice that and thank you for bringing it up. Or I mean, I guess if you are unfortunate, then it will be like, yeah, well, we don't care. But like, there are just a variety of ways that it could go. But I do think that like it is. I'm in the camp of it's usually better to flag it than it is to just leave it and not say anything, because if it makes you uncomfortable, then like, I mean, another thing to consider is if you're working on a project, that project is also going to have your name in it, like on it. And if you have the opportunity to say something about something that makes you uncomfortable, then, you also have to contend with, am I comfortable with this with contributing to this project and leaving it with the possibility of this staying in here? And then at least if you bring it up and, then that's, in my opinion, you're doing your due diligence. You're making sure that like you're comfortable with the content of the project. You're raising, like you're helping out the team essentially. So there's just a lot of things to consider. But like from my perspective, like what I would do is I would just kind of, like if I'm editing something, I'll leave like a little comment in the document that I'm editing and being like, hey, this is a potential sensitivity flag. Please, for this reason, I can explain like what the issue is that I think it is, and then I can just be like, yeah, just have someone kind of double check this, because things with sensitivity readers, I'm seeing that increasingly on projects, and like now more projects have sensitivity readers than did when I started, and that's been a really good development, I think. So usually these days there is someone whose job it is to address those, and so it's not necessarily on me to flag it and also address it, but like it's okay to flag it, is what I would say.
All right. And since we're on the topic of like advice to newbies, like what would your advice be to anyone that's looking to get started in game design or editing, or you can piece together how you want to put that your advice together.
Okay. Okay, so in my opinion, two things. The first is, do not try to publish a 300-page book as your first project. Do not do that. Just please publish something small. So like you can have, like, I meet a lot of people who are like, oh, I have this really epic world that I've been building since I was 14. I have all of these ideas in my head, and like they'll get really excited about this idea, and I'll be like, okay, so like what progress have you made towards doing that? And they'll be like, well, I haven't written anything yet, but, and I'll be like, okay, so we like we really need to kind of sit down, think about what you want to achieve, and ultimately a lot of people just do want to like their ideas to be finished and out there, and that's really exciting. But also I would say that to be like, okay, look, so pick the idea that you're most excited about from this world, turn it into like like a 10-page supplement or something, like write that, polish that up, finish it, publish that, and then afterwards you can do it in you can do it as like a series, you can do it in chunks. You don't actually like have to publish 300 pages all at once, because that is a like like you'll have entire companies working on those kinds of projects. Like my day job, Hit Point Press, puts out 300-page books, and like that's not something that you can just do as like one person, especially if you're just getting started and you don't necessarily know all of the resources available in like to you in tabletop. You don't necessarily have like a team of people to put that together, like to work with, because that is so much work. And I think that like people get really excited about the idea, and they're just like, no, I definitely have like the like the drive to do this, and then they'll sit down to write and be like, wow, writing is really hard. And I'm just like, yeah, writing's difficult. Like just 300 pages is so much. So honestly, like if you like, and so don't necessarily like get too fixated on like making a 300-page hardcover. Just start small. And honestly, it is, that kind of leads me into my second piece of advice, is if you want to do this professionally, it is so important to have a portfolio of projects that you have completed. Like ideas, great, but also ideas are the easy part. Everybody has those. Like I have more ideas than I could ever write down in my whole entire lifetime, but someone cannot hire you off of a good idea. Like oftentimes they have ideas and they want to hire you to like help make that idea happen. And so if you have ideas for things, you need to kind of make those projects happen. And then because having projects that are completed shows that you understand like the work that goes into it. It shows that you can deliver. It shows that you can execute on the skills that are needed to do this professionally. So honestly, make a small project, make a few small projects and release those, and like, you know, polish them, make them the highest quality that you possibly can, and that looks so much better. And like, you'll have such like a much more easy time like finding work if you can finish projects. Whereas if you try to do a 300-page book, you're kind of dooming yourself to like not finish that. That is so hard, and people will try doing that and then they'll get burned out and then just won't be able to make progress. And honestly, that sucks. And I do not want that for anybody.
That's brilliant advice. Like, start like what if you don't mind my asking, like what we I know that you already kind of answered this question, but I'd like to go in depth a little bit. Like, what do you think is a good small project for someone to start on? I think you said like a 10-pager.
Yeah, I mean, my first project was just like a one shot for Dungeons and Dragons. It was like, I think, a 5 or a 7 room dungeon, so like not like a massive mega dungeon or anything. Like, so you know, like an adventure, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like an original thing. Like my first thing was for Dungeons and Dragons. That's okay. Like, you know, I like, if there's a game that you already really like, you know, write a supplement for it and see how you like it, because I had no game design experience at that point, but you know, Dungeons and Dragons gives you a framework to work with. And so like, you know, if you know, like, and that goes for any system that you really like, if there is a game system that you want to try out making content for, then, you know, like try that and see where you go with it. So like, you know, an adventure is good, like an encounter is good, like literally like just kind of pick one thing that interests you and just try it, like focus on making that like a really like the best that you can make it.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's really awesome. Thank you for that. Like,
yeah, happy to help.
I think there's something to be said about being sustainable in your game design, where you take something that's big and grand and just put it down to like the very smallest pieces so that you can, and I think also that would help prevent burnout as well. When it comes to putting out like a 300-page project, it's very easy to lose steam or get fixated on something else halfway through, especially if you're someone that has certain neurodivergencies like ADHD.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I think that like the thing is with the 300-page book, like you need a lot of kind of project infrastructure to make that possible and to make that happen. Like there are a lot of kind of micro tasks that are kind of hidden, and when all you want to do is write the fun parts, but then there's so much other stuff that you need to consider, and you just, I mean, honestly, if someone is out there and can prove me wrong and has written a 300-page book all by themselves and not gotten burned out on it, then, you know, fantastic, love that for you, but it is not a path I would ever advise taking. So yeah, but like the burnout aspect is actually really important, because truthfully, like the only way to prevent, like to deal with burnout is to prevent it, because like it's a serious problem that can take like months and months to recover from. So yeah, yeah, that's a really good point.
So you mentioned like these small hidden tasks that like end up sucker punching people. Like I'm just imagining like, you know, somebody walking down the street and then like, you know, formatting, like just coming in directly in the face. Like you know, and that also sounds like you're speaking from personal experience. So if I may, I'd like to know like what was the hidden task that surprised you the most that you had to figure out how to get over?
Yeah, so I mean, for my first adventure, like the one that I was talking about earlier, like Lake of Secrets, I was very fortunate in that I was taking a class to help me write that. So I had already a lot more guidance than a lot of people have, like going into their first project. But like the thing is, if you're starting out, you want to be a game designer, but you also need a bunch of other skills to make this happen, especially if you don't already have a team and you don't have like the money to necessarily hire people. Like I didn't know anything about graphic design and layout, but in order to make that adventure published, I had to kind of learn how to do that. And so like a lot of people in the industry start out by being like, I want to be a game designer, and then they'll end up learning how to do 6 different jobs in order to do the one job that they want, which is being a game designer. So like I guess that is also something to be aware of, is like it's really nice to be a part of a team, but also if that's not feasible, then you just will end up having to kind of teach yourself these other skills that you need. like if and even if I find myself like in a position to like be able to hire artists and stuff, then like I need to be the art director. I need to kind of give them critique and feedback, and I need to tell them what I want for the cover. Like if I like if I'm hiring an editor and I'm not editing it myself, then like, and honestly, editing is really important to get someone else to look at, because like I'm never going to see my own mistakes. So yeah. And so then like if I need to manage other people, then I have to be the project manager as well. There's just a lot of different roles that go into making a tabletop project, and you're probably going to end up having to do a little bit of all of them at various stages. So that's that's just kind of how it goes.
Heck yeah! So this is a segment that we've only done like a handful of times that I need to remember to do more often. But we've talked so much about your experience in like being a game designer, a writer, and everything, that I would very much like. I think part of the experience of being in the space is people perceive you by your reputation, and you, whether on purpose or not, start to develop a brand. And we rarely ever get to choose the brand ourselves. So my question to you is, what would you like your brand to be within the space? Like, how would you like to be known?
So previously we were talking about this whole like I do the theme of doppelgangers or whatever. Honestly, if people come to know me as like the doppelganger weirdo, that's great. Fine. That is what I want. Okay. So the thing is like, and also marketing, that is a thing you're going to have to do too. And if you've been creating in isolation this whole time, then you're going to struggle with marketing, like audience building, like that's so hard. So yeah, I think you're right in that like like I don't really know many people who really love the marketing side of things. And so then, reputation does, you're right, like reputation does kind of become your brand. But like, if you kind of keep writing about like one thing forever and, then your thing is doppelgangers, then sure, like, like I'm fine with that. Like, yeah, I'd be so fine with that. Like there are, of course, like there are other themes that I really like too, but that's just kind of like the one that comes to mind. And like, I could probably go through my list of projects and be like, I did it here, I did it here, I did it here as well. But like, yeah. So I'd be honestly, basically, yeah, I'd be very happy to be known as that person. Like that's fine with me.
Gray wants to know that if your brand is doppelgangers, how do we know that you're the real Sebastian?
Yeah, you have no fucking idea.
Never
You have
met
no
you.
idea. Yeah.
We're gonna get a DM later from Sebastian. Like, so I'm so sorry I'm so sorry I couldn't make the show today. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, wait, excuse me? Yeah. Yeah, you have no idea. But yeah.
That would make it so terribly hard not to want to just gaslight people. Like, oh, we had a great conversation. Did we? Like, I don't know.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Okay. So, next segment. It is the TTRPG confessional. Now,
okay.
We're going to show you how this works. Essentially, if you're at the table, there's nobody's perfect, and so you may exhibit qualities, tendencies, habits that maybe aren't the best at the table. And this is where you can come to confess. We will give you your penance, and then you will go and sin no more. And to lead us in this,
Laura's
to
gonna
give
go.
us a good motherfucker. No, you're gonna go. So, Fox, is there anything you would like to confess?
I have a tendency to build very one-note kind of characters that might not be the most optimal for any given situation. They're fun, sure, but I mean, I feel like I could be doing more at the table than just punching things.
Okay. Your penance will be to relate one of your character's abilities to the narrative and express that through conversation with the party.
Can you provide me with an example?
For example, if your character has super strength, maybe there's something about that ability that makes it hard for, like, you know how Superman has the whole walking in a world made of
Ooh,
paper, where
okay.
it's hard for him to relate to people because he has to watch himself so often that he can't break things, and so that makes him somewhat detached. Maybe have a moment where you talk about the psychological ramifications of the abilities that you have amongst your party.
Ooh, I like it.
How
Thank you.
about you, Sebastian? Do you have a penance for Fox?
Penance for honestly, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like another way to think about it is to when you're building the character, like think about like narratively, why is this happening? Like why did I choose like, why did my character choose to become this kind of person? Or if they didn't choose it, then like what happened to make them this person? And then kind of like let that inform all of the role play that you do. So yeah. Like so you said that you hit things a lot in games and it's just like, I don't know, like why did your character decide to become the hit things person? Yeah.
And do they get anything from hitting? Like, does that is that working off the emotion, or is it frustrating that no matter how much stuff you hit, you can't really hit what the problem is? Like, what's the consequences of that?
I can't
That
punch my way out of everything.
Mm.
You can't. Go forth and sin no more.
Okay, now it's your turn.
So that's how it works, Sebastian.
Okay.
Do you have any confessions?
So like no, not really, because like I don't think that I'm not gonna say that I'm perfect, but also I'm not like sorry for any of the ways that any of the things that I do ever. Like
They're not sins if you don't feel sorry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like so honestly, I think that what's gonna happen is I can tell you this like the style of play that I do, and then I'm just gonna be like, no, but I do not ask for forgiveness, and then you can send me to hell, and then I can just use those very same gameplay techniques to get out of hell. So, I
I'm sorry. Can you imagine somebody walking into a confessional? I'm just here to tell you about all the things I'm not sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell
pretty
you about all the
much.
rad shit I did.
Yeah.
I had a
need
sick
someone to
ass
hear it.
weekend.
Yeah. Father, don't forgive me. Actually, I haven't sinned. I'm just here to talk to you about my life. You need to know.
All right. I will do my confession.
I do want, yeah, honestly, I do want to hear what yours is as well. I mean, I can tell you some stuff that I do, but I'm not like sorry for any of it. So I don't know. Like, yeah.
This is a GM confession.
Oh.
Confessing on the GM side of things. Sometimes I let my feelings get hurt.
Oh.
When the players dunk on my bad guys too hard. Like I'll be like, all right, I got this sick evil monologue. And I'm doing the deep bad guy voice. I'm like, I'm getting in it. I'm getting in it. And then like the speech is over and there's that moment of quiet. And one of my players will be like, wah, wah. I'm like, that hurt my feelings. And then I might add another 0 to their hit points. So that is my confession. I am ready for my penance.
Wow. Build tougher bad guys? I don't know, like
Why did that feel like another wah wah?
Oh.
Okay. I will take that.
Or like, I mean, not by tougher bad guys. That's actually not very constructive. I mean, like, I guess anticipate the womp womp, and then maybe have your bad guy pull out like a trombone that is bigger, and then do a bigger womp womp, and then see what your players do. You know,
womp
like
womp.
have them have like a comeback to that. Like,
See, back in the old days of 3.5, we had save or die to shut people up.
maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
those 3 words used to inspire tear. All right,
Yeah.
I
Or
will.
like, yeah, maybe like some kind of hidden ability that happens when your player like dunks on them and you're just like, well, you've activated my trap card. I was waiting to be dunked on. And then it's like I don't know, like a whole thing. I think there's defenses that you can implement here.
You can raise the stakes.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
there's defenses you can have
you know
here.
what? Yeah, okay. I like a raising the stakes type response.
You've activated my trap card. I'm like, and like if you're gonna add the proverbial 0 to the hit points, then like you can do that in the narrative and be like, yeah, you've activated my trap card. Every time you make fun of me, I grow stronger. Ah, ha, 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 I dare you to mock me now. And then the players can just keep doing that, but also hilarious, actually.
You didn't realize that my powers run on a humiliation kick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I might actually write that bad guy now.
Please, I want to see it.
Are you saying Noir should emotionally devastate their players more? Yes, I am.
Yeah, I don't know.
Great Day says, make a BBEG that gets really sad when they get mocked, and then the players feel bad.
No, the players will just mock them even more. Like, I wouldn't at any point assume that the players are gonna be sympathetic to this. Like, oh, that'd be funny.
You get my players. You get my, because if they went, that really hurt my feelings. They'd be like, boo. Okay.
Oh.
I like that penance. I'm gonna keep that in the tuck. I'm gonna make a villain who's powers
Please.
run on a humiliation kick. And send
Yes.
it after.
I want to hear how that goes. I want to hear how that goes. Yeah, I guess now that we've been talking, like, I don't know if it's like a sin. There's just stuff that I need to get good at, like, yeah.
Okay, well, I am keen to hear any one of them.
Yeah, so thing is, I need to get good at, like, as a GM, I don't do like character voices. Like, I don't do NPC voices. I'm just like, hey, this NPC, I'll give you a description of them, and then they open their mouth, and then it's just me talking about stuff. Like, obviously, I just need to get good at doing that, but also, is that really a sin? Not really. No one's ever complained about it, and I think that actually, if I were to start doing accents, my players might complain.
Oh, I have one in the tuck for this. Because okay. I have your penance.
Okay.
It's not really penance because neither one of us see it as a sin. Because honestly, character voices is I like to call it sprinkles on the ice cream. You're getting ice cream. Shut up about the sprinkles.
Yeah.
But when I started trying to do voices, I did have somebody that was just like, that is a terrible accent. And I'm like, what does a dwarf's accent sound like? It's all fake.
Yeah. No, this is real.
It can be whatever I want it to be. It's so not for an NPC that will be very active or talk a lot, but just make an NPC that talks in a weird, funny way that you enjoy talking, and like only do the voice for that character. And like, if you want to have a story behind it, sure, but if not, that's just how they talk. And plus it's fun to mess with your players and just be like, out of nowhere, just hit them up with like the worst British accent.
Just make a lizard man that talks in Doge speak. Hello, friend.
Yeah.
All right, so that's my opinion. That is my opinion.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, there's also, like, you don't necessarily have to even do character voices. You could just have one character that speaks in a little bit faster voice than what you would normally speak in. And, like, that's because they're kind of excitable and a little bit more energetic. Or you could have someone that just speaks in your voice, but a little bit slower and more methodical and likes to think about what they're saying before they get through to it. There's other ways to convey character voices without actually doing the silly voice accent bit.
Yeah, that's true. Good try.
I had a character who ended every sentence with Bob.
Like, not just one Bob. It was two.
Oh, it's only because I said that the sentence ends with Bob that I had to say Bob again.
Oh, I see.
Like, you should go over there, Bob. Oh no, there's danger, Bob. I don't know why, but it's really cathartic. Like, it's just really fun to just do stupid stuff like that. Um,
It's true. It could be like a gimmick as opposed to like a voice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like looking at it like that better than the character voice. Yes,
Character
because I feel like
gimmick.
that's just as good.
Yeah. So I can, yeah, I do like character gimmicks.
um, what is one of your favorite NPCs that you have made? And this isn't
Ooh.
about the TTRPG confessions anymore. This is just a general curious question.
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. Honestly, I like making not a villain, but like an antagonist. I like making an antagonist who technically kind of did nothing wrong. They just have bad ideas as to how to fix their problems. You know, sometimes you just just like, making a Dracolich is actually not the right way to like get your friends out of like horrible corporate labor. It's just, that's just a bad idea. But you're kind of valid for it though. Like,
Making a Dracolich when you should just be unionizing.
yeah, yeah. It's just like the problem is that like your friends are kind of like in a city that's like run by the mob, and she's like, well, if I destroy all the people who are in power with the Dracolich, then we won't have that problem. And I'm like, well, you're not incorrect, but also, there's just other problems with this plan. Like,
I hope this is somebody that always goes to 10 with whatever their solutions.
yeah, I mean, the problem was that like her only training was in necromancy, and so she's like, well, what can I do with the skill set that I currently have? Well, I can make a Dracolich and fly it to this city that's run by the mob and like free my friends from their horrible jobs. Like, and she was and in my opinion, she was really, really right for that. But there's just other problems with making Dracoliches.
When you're a hammer, every problem looks like a Dracula.
Exactly. Like, your hammer is necromancy, and yeah. So essentially, so like, there was a kind of like a entertaining aspect to that because that is a fundamentally absurd situation, but also she genuinely thought that this was the right thing to do and that this was a good use of her skill set because, again, she like got, forcibly apprenticed to like this evil necromancer, and so all she knows how to do is do necromancy. So I don't know, like, yeah, had a lot of
Throw
fun
a
with that.
Molotov and boom, now you have a different problem.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, she served as like this primary antagonist of like this arc that I was doing, and I was like, oh, that's really fun. Like,
Oh, okay. Can I ask the character's name?
yeah, her name's Perith. She was like a dragonborn, like.
That makes the fact that she's a dragonborn makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Get him, Grandpa. No,
Yeah.
Oh, I love necromancy.
Right.
Okay. This is just GM talk at this point. I have to ask you, what do you feel is the most evil school of magic?
So probably enchantment, but also it's like the one that I personally would want. So
That's fair. Like this is one
I
of
also
those
don't
questions.
think. Yeah, I also just don't think that like any school of magic is inherent. I'm one of those people who's like, who's like, actually every school of magic is great, and if you choose to use it for nefarious purposes, well then good luck. I hope you succeed. I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't think that anything is inherently evil. Like,
I see. I just feel like it is much harder to do good with enchantment, whereas I feel like you can do some good with necromancy. Like, it's a little bit easier.
yeah, I mean, there's also like, I mean, my argument for like literally everything is, yeah, but I'm built different, and I know that's not a defense against evil or like anything. Like, Your Honor, I'm built different, but like, I'm just saying, like, if I could apply this to like, I don't know, real world anything, I'm just like, I don't know, like, I could do a lot with that. If I only enchant evil people or whatever, then I'm just saying, again, I'm built different. Wouldn't do it to people who are obviously doing good stuff, but
If you could have one D&D spell that you could cast at will in real world, in like in your day-to-day life, what would it be?
Wish.
That is that's the right answer. That
Yeah.
is fundamentally the right answer.
So, like, if I could cast it at will, and then it wouldn't have the implication of if you cast this to do anything other than replicate a spell, then you don't get to cast it ever again. There's like a third of a chance that you do that or something like that. But
Yeah.
okay, like, listen, being entirely real here, like prestidigitation, like being entirely fucking real. Like, honestly, I could say something cool like fireball, but like I'm getting arrested. Like, I'm not casting fireball. Like, whereas I'm using prestidigitation to like do my laundry and do my cleaning. You know, I'm just making my life easier. But honestly, if like in all seriousness, if I wanted to have like ultimate power, which you know I do, I'd pick wish. But like, you know, and then if I get wish, then I can use wish. Yeah, then I can use wish to replicate prestidigitation, and then just solves all my problems. So
Using wish to replicate a cantrip is so good.
yeah, it's so funny.
I feel like the weave itself would be like for real.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Again, I'm built
Bro.
different. Like
Mister comes down like I didn't fucking do like this is bullshit, and then the world yells at her for what she did to Gil. All right, I think the spell I pick is fabricate.
Ooh,
No,
what'd
no,
you make?
no. I'm changing that immediately. The Magic Mansion one. Never
Yeah,
having to pay rent
Mordenkainen's
again.
magnificent mansion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never have to pay rent again. Very good. Yeah. And you get
And-
like a mansion with like 100 like staff in it, and you get like a banquet every day. It's kind of like OP. Like
right, like free food, free housing in the house. It's wherever
yeah.
I. Yeah,
You could also
yeah.
have like people to like move in with you, and it's like a permanent party. It'd be so good. Like because you have so much space. Yeah.
The TTRPG commune would become real.
Yeah. See, you're like a nice person, and I'm just like, no, I want wish because I want ultimate power. Like
No, there's nothing about nice. Rent is whooping my ass. No. All right. Back on track. We have
Sorry, hang on,
segments.
AJ, what spell did you have? I want to ask.
Oh yeah,
Teleport.
I'm so sorry. Ooh, hey.
Teleport's always my answer. Teleport and prestidigitation, because
Right.
perfect winged eyeliner every time, because you
Yeah.
can do small marks on things and
You
change the color of things.
can.
Also, if you can have every food taste like your safe food, so every food could be chicken nuggets if you wanted it to.
Good
Harmless
point.
sensory effect. Never have
Yeah.
to worry about showering. You're perfect. Just prestidigitate everything.
Yes.
Doing your
Can you-
laundry, done.
Oh, you can cast prestidigitation on somebody else too.
Mm-hmm. You can clean or soil 1 meter of material.
Oh, that's right. You can shit
Yeah,
other
it's a
people's
cubic
pants.
foot, so you could just like dump a bunch of stuff in a pile and then clean it, and then just
Yeah.
you know
That's how
stick
you
all
do
your
your
dishes in the sink, and then just boom. Yeah.
But you can also shit other people's pants.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
You get pulled over by an officer. Do you know how fast you're going? You can pull me over for you not leaving here with clean drugs. Maybe I am evil because that's the first thing that I thought about.
I don't think that's evil at all. I think that like more people should be making their cops shit their pants. Yeah.
I agree.
So we have other segments. So while we had our TTRPG confessional, what generally follows is the TTRPG commandments, and it doesn't have to be specifically about TTRPGs. It could be about nerddom as a whole. We've had a number of guests on this show, and they've all left with giving us some commandments. For example, let's see here. We have Alec the Bard gave us "Thou shalt give your baddies daddy energy." Everybody wants to fuck his baddies. Everybody wants to laugh at mine.
Good.
There's
I
something
mean,
to
again,
that.
no, you just need to find. I mean, if you're gonna make the baddie with like the humiliation kink, then you just gotta find like the PC who has the degradation kink, and there you go. Like, you're good. You're so good.
Haley Whipjack left us with "Thou shalt believe oneself to be of equal importance to everyone at the table."
Oh,
And
that's nice.
we've had some really good ones. Like we have them here, and we need to do something with these. And Drax left us with both GMs and players shall facilitate a moment for each other.
Oh, yeah.
So, Sebastian, you got the tablet. What do we walk down the mountain with for your commandment?
Thou shalt make all thy NPCs romanceable. I assume someone said that one already, right?
No.
Really? Okay. Little asterisk with with the consent and input with everybody at the table, but also just generally speaking, like yeah.
Oh, so we got I think the closest we got to something like that. Well, no, it's not actually. There's nothing close to that actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Surprised. Okay.
we got "Thou shalt adopt a small creature, and have it be the baby of the party, and that will be thy bond." But that's about it in terms of party relations.
Oh, well, yeah, all right. In that case, cool. I will happily claim "Thou shalt make all thy NPCs romanceable."
I like that.
It doesn't necessarily mean they have to they have to be romance. It just means that needs to be like an option. Like I need that as an option.
Romance at the table. That is one of those things that I have tried maybe a handful of times, and I can't land it.
Ooh.
Can't land it. No game. No riz.
No bitches. Like
maidenless behavior.
Maidenless behavior. That was actually, I think, my very first TTRPG confessional, which was like, I think another player was trying to get my character to smooch, and I just couldn't get it. And people hounded me about that for like weeks on end.
I mean, did you want to do it though? Like,
I wanted to do it, but it was just like, I wanted it to fit within the narrative and be at the right time and all that kind of stuff. And then the campaign ended.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry.
I got the funniest angry DM from a fan that was just like, "Y'all was supposed to kiss." It was the only justified angry fan DM I've ever gotten in my life where I'm like, you right.
Hilarious. Oh, I'm so sorry.
And the fan was me.
Yeah.
We're gonna switch things up, and usually this is the last segment, but I'm doing it now because I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
We do a community spotlight where we take a little bit of time to like shine light on other people within the space that have helped us out, that we think deserve a bit more shine. And for our guests, we often recommend, like, if you think there's somebody that we should talk to, please let us know. So, do you have anyone you would like to put the community spotlight on?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, earlier I mentioned that I'd hired a developmental editor. So Pam Ponzalan, if you haven't had them on, she was my developmental editor for my most recent game, which is The Model Minister, which is a scenario for Spire. Honestly, if you haven't had Pam on, I highly recommend that you chat to her.
Heck yeah. Can I get the spelling of their name in our chat so I can make a note to give them an invite? And Fox, how about you? You got anybody?
My community spotlight goes to. I did that last week.
You could do it again if they're great.
I
Twice.
mean, Grey Day has been in chat, and they've been asking some really good questions for the last few weeks. And they also helped me set up closed captions for my one-on-ones when I'm just playing by myself streams. They sent me all the instructions for that, and
Hell
I'm really
yeah.
grateful for them helping me out with some accessibility issues that have been cropping up on the channel. We're still working on the one for Morning Ritual, but the one for the stream itself, for like just when I'm playing video games, awesome. Thank you for the help with that.
No,
That's
thanks.
dope. For me, I've got two. AJ Winters of Castleton. Just an amazing project manager. Like holy smokes, it's amazing to see the organization at work. And also Whitney smoking glue guns. Um, one I love. I appreciate seeing anybody that's crafty as heck. And Whitney makes some amazing dice. And they are doing a Wild West project that is very ambitious and big, and it is really cool to see a black film GM represented in the space and kicking ass and taking names. We need more of that energy.
Nice, love that.
We need more of that energy. All right. We've got more of the energy we need in the space. Now we're going to talk about energy that we need much less of in the space. If you've been in the TTRPG space for long enough, you've probably had the displeasure of being at the table with that guy. That guy is a veritable black hole of fun at the table. Somebody that if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience would increase 100-fold. So,
Oh dear.
Sebastian, I have to ask you. I've said that speech like 5 years worth of time now. Do you have a that guy for us?
Yeah, so this one time I had a GM and he killed my character when I wasn't present for the session, and my friend was playing my character in combat, and it actually like made me feel worse for her because she was like controlling my character, and I got back and the GM was like, "Hey, so I killed your character, but don't worry because my NPC brought him back." And I was like, "Excuse me?" Like yeah. That was not great.
No. No. No.
Absentee characters
No.
have plot armor.
Right, like yeah.
At most, and I would still be a little tilted at this. At most, knock them out, but don't kill them.
No, look, this isn't like 2021. I remember, like
Oh, okay. So I have to ask, like, how did the next session go? Like,
well, so like I mean, he was resurrected by the time I got back, so like we just kind of continued with the campaign, but also like it ended up falling apart for like other reasons. But basically, just like yeah, I was just not impressed with this situation, especially because like he'd like made this as a problem and then kind of resolved it without my input, and I'm just like, also this is gonna like sound really petty, but like also he got resurrected by an NPC who I really hated, so there was that also, and I didn't appreciate that he owed his life to this NPC that he hated. Like
uh,
I don't know.
like,
Yeah,
like,
so I don't know, but that's a very I feel like that's a very that guy move. Like just do not do that at any point. Kill my
yeah.
character in front of me, you coward. Like, you know.
Like, if I'm not there to have you plunge the knife through my chest.
Yeah.
Just
also like
push
this
the
was the
knife
second
away.
time that character had died, so like, you know, please.
Like, I feel like you're right. I feel extraordinarily bad for the friend because, like, why would you put another player in that position?
Yeah, because she'd offered to run my character in combat, and I was like, oh, okay, here's like the instructions for how to play him. It's really easy. I have like I'm like a complete nerd, and I make like a flowchart for all of my characters and like what moves they can do and when. So I was like, listen, it's really easy. Here's my flowchart. Good luck. You'll be fine. Because yeah, but no, it's not fine. If you're just gonna, I'm sorry, like you can't just dunk on me like with power word kill when I'm not even here and I have no counter spell. Like, please, like.
Please tell me that's not how they went down.
I'm actually not 100% certain, but I think it would have been. I think it probably would have been power word kill. Like
That's so cheap.
See, that is.
It's how he went down the first time. So I don't remember. I wasn't there. So yeah, I would.
That is such a GM choice.
Yeah.
Like that is like some.
Yeah, that's a that guy move.
Sometimes, like there are. I feel like you can tell the difference between a mistake and a decision.
Yeah, you have choices.
And that felt like a decision.
Yep. I don't know if that meets the criteria of like that guy, but that's the story that came to mind when you warned me about this segment. I was like, wait.
Got this.
No, I for sure think that qualifies as that guy. Chat, let me know what you think, but I think that hits all the marks.
I agree.
Oh.
Do you have any recent that guy stories, Noir?
I see you doing a think.
There's a big thing happening.
Is it because you have too many?
Yes.
Oh no.
And then it's also the sorting through the Rolodex to see how many details can be left out. So that we aren't able to track it down to a specific stream.
I do have to say, like, having done these stories for so long, like I have been hit up, like, hey, I just want to check. That wasn't me, was it?
So just in case you were that guy, like.
I don't think that guys are that self-aware to actually ask the question.
Yeah, probably not.
That's why it's usually not them, not those people that call.
Usually.
Okay. So I do live GMing for work. Like, you know, I'll go to a bar and people will have paid to, you know, play D&D and I'll run them through an adventure.
Yeah.
Rough Magic Chicago at Gang Gang. Thanks for paying my bills. So I was at a brewery and it was this table of 5 people. I thought 4 of them knew each other. It was one outsider. And actually only 3 of them knew each other, and there are 2 people that were just completely brand new to the table. Anyway, so I'm running them through this adventure where essentially they're at a circus that has been booby trapped to take out the entire town.
Oh.
And the tent itself is functioning as like a force bubble so people can't leave. So they've got to find the booby traps, kill the guards that are guarding the booby traps, and save the day. There was this one guy who clearly had played D&D before, who like he decided he's gonna go his own way and kind of like Die Hard the movie this shit, like be John McClane and solve it on his own. And he made every wrong decision that you can think of, but the rest of the group went, their other way. And the way that the adventure works is you're supposed to talk to people about what they've seen and like use social engagement to figure out where the traps are and disengage them and that kind of stuff. So they're playing the module how it's written. He's trying to brute force it and running into fights that happen when you brute force it, because the module's kind of designed where if you attack this socially, you don't have as many fights. but if you brute force it, you're brute forcing get together, so the encounters are built for a party in mind. So he he is getting his ass kicked and blaming it on the party not being there as they're actively solving the puzzle. And like you have like there's a pet peeve that I had that he kept doing where like somebody starts to work out a problem and right once they get to the point where like obviously like oh we've worked all this out so that means that the answer must be he would like the answer's that see if you guys would have been
Oh,
with me like I clearly know what I'm doing like they did 90% of the work and you just hop the finish line and you're
yeah.
saying that you would have been an asset, but you're getting your ass kicked. And you're not even there, so stop talking during their turn. That was that guy.
So
And
what do you do in those situations as like a professional and you're supposed to make sure everyone has fun, including that guy? Like
That's a
that
good
sounds like a
question.
terrible situation to be in, actually. What do you do?
so I'm very glad you asked. The three people that knew each other were like these two people in their 20s and this sweet little old lady in like her like 60s 70s, and she was playing the cleric, didn't really know what she was doing, but she knew that her role was to take care of people. So he gets dropped, and
Oh.
since he's already cross communicating, right, she's responding to him, not playing in the fiction of them being apart.
Mm.
When he's doing it, I'm kind of like, okay, you're not there, kind of giving him the shut the fuck up instruction. But when she starts to respond, because she's genuinely concerned about this guy, that's when I had the narrative basically say that your God is letting you hear your party member and that
Wow.
they're in trouble. And so when she's responding to him, it's just like, listen, you got to be nice to her because you're about to die. So I'm trying to incentivize the behavior that I need at the table through the narrative.
Mm.
And he wants to win more than anything. So he acquiesces to what she's saying. He's giving her the power because he knows she's the only way that he gets up. And by this time, we're getting close to the ending anyway. So if he wants to cross the finish line, he physically can't because his hit points are at 0. So he has to be nice because it's his nature to go, and I helped. So, so there was this sweet moment of like she she wants to heal, and I always ask whenever anybody does a healing word, what is the word? And so she's like, are you okay? Tell me what hurts. And like it's really being just very
Oh.
sweet. And he got mad at me about this. This isn't in accordance to the rules, but on the GM, I can do whatever the fuck I want to. In order for the magic to work, she was trying to do that whole like you're hurt, I'm helping you, and I'm going to talk you through being hurt to make you feel better. And she was asking him questions about his life. He was just like, like, how much do I heal? And I'm like, the magic doesn't take until you answer her question. Tell her about yourself. Well, that's not how the spell works. That's how it works today.
Yeah.
That's how it works at my table.
Yeah.
And so I forced upon them a sweet moment. And she really just wanted to heal somebody. And so she got to have that moment because he was an asshole. And and despite himself in the last fight, maybe I don't know what it was, but he ended up protecting her.
You fixed him.
Just a little bit.
And it was really sweet, and it was a fun adventure. But that was for sure that guy. He was more interested in winning and showing that the party was wrong and he was right than playing within the narrative.
Well, yeah, that sounds like a good way to handle it. Well done.
I'll tell you this much. The, the crit that I rolled on him wasn't really a crit, but
Did you fudge it like from behind the DM screen? Like
talk shit, get hit. That's all I'm saying.
You're so right for that, actually.
I really hope well, my rough magic people don't watch this. It's fine. So how about you, Fox? You got anything?
I don't have anything recent, unfortunately. Though chat is trying to call that guy Jed McLean or Jed McClone.
I love when they give the that guys names. All right, so that brings us to the end. This is normally where we would do community spotlight, but instead of that, I would like to leave you with these last few questions. Which one? Well, first, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a blast.
Thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
This has been so much fun. One, I would love for you to tell us about a project that you would like us to be on the lookout from you, and I would like you to also tell us about. I know this might be a hard choice, so if it is, feel free to answer it however you like. But tell us about one, the project you would like us to take a look at, two, and two, the project that means the most to you.
Oh, okay. Good question. So, honestly, please take a look at my project that I just mentioned, the Model Minister. It's a scenario for Spire. It's up on Itch right now. You can also get it if you buy the Hearth magazine, which is an indie magazine that runs every other month. And so this first draft was originally published in this magazine, and so if you get the magazine, you can get both versions. So you get the first version that was originally, and then the second version, which I used because I used the funds that I got paid from contributing to polish it up and expand the word count and hire a team to help me with it. So I'm really proud of it. So yeah, please check that out. The project that means the most to me. Oh, that's such a good question. Okay, I think quite possibly I want to say the playbook that I wrote for Apocalypse Keys, it's called The Untethered. You can find it in Apocalypse Keys Doomsday Delights, published by Evil Hat. It's you can kind of be a super emotionally unavailable character, and it's really spicy. There's also a move in there that you can you can totally fuck your doppelganger if you want to. I'm just saying that's an option. You don't have to, but you can.
I love Apocalypse Keys so
much.
It's
such a good game. It's so good. So yeah, please play that. Please make a awful, emotionally unavailable character.
And can I just say, just looking at the Mono Minister, the artwork on this is glorious.
It's thank you, Adrian Stone, who is the artist who does all of the official Spire stuff, and I'm really lucky to have gotten to work with him.
This is so good. Now you're making me want to play Apocalypse Keys again. I played Judas Iscariot as my character. It was good times.
Ooh, what playbook are you playing?
I think I was
Is it the Fallen?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, if I rolled 20, I could probably figure it out because we've got. I'm also in that game.
Yes, you.
Well,
you were the fallen angel.
I was the angel that brought you back from hell.
Yes. So we had the manifestation of the Garden of Eden as a character, Judas, a fallen angel, and the manifestation of the Library of Alexandria.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And that was the voracious one. He was always
the
trying
hungry.
to consume knowledge. Oh, it was so good. All right, before we have some more, thank you so much for joining us, Sebastian. Truly, this has been fun, and you are always welcome back because I just enjoyed talking to you. This was a good time.
Thanks. This was so fun. Thank you for having me.
I have been one of your hosts, Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir Enigma. That's Twitch, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. I gotta get used to saying that fucking Twitter's dead now. And for your other host,
That's me. I'm AJ Fox. My pronouns are she, they. You can find me everywhere at Fox Fabula because the rebrand has happened. And you could also find me last Tuesdays of the month for the Streampunks Coffee game where I play Bigby, the one that punches things.
and for our guest.
Yep, thank you. I've been Sebastian Yue. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on my website at sebastianyue.ca because despite my accent, I'm based in Canada. And you can find me at Sebastian Yue on Blue Sky.
All right, well, that has been, God damn it, chat. Doppelbanger?
No, okay, yeah, you wouldn't believe this, but I'm working on a game called Doppelbanger. Like, it's, yeah, you would not believe this. Considering Doppelgangbang for, like, the multiplayer version, because currently it's 2 players, but, like, you know, it's just, yeah. No, you're not gonna believe this. I have, like, a literal tweet from several months ago that's like, here, I'm working on this.
Doppelbanger?
Yeah.
I can't think of a better note to end the show on than that one.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's been a blast, and until next time, the ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.